Holy Fawn is a band that needs to be on everybody's radar. They are so unique. They're a pinnacle in the post-rock scene. Hi, my name is Fox McFly, the guy with low no standards, and I let my coworker blindly pick which band we talk about each week, and this week she chose Holy Fawn over Pianos Become the Teeth, and her reasoning was because doe, a deer, a female deer. You can't argue with that. So before we get into Holy Fawn at all, there is some terminology that I'm using quite often lately that I wanted to go over some definitions with, because I'm going to be using a lot of these, and it's just best if I get these out of the way so everything's understandable. So the first thing is post-rock. So what is post-rock? So let's pull up just the definition for post-rock. So post-rock is a unique type of experimental music. It uses normal rock instruments like guitars, bass, and drums. However, it ignores standard verse chorus song patterns. Instead, songs focus on building big moods, textures, and long instrumental journeys. That's the key. Long instrumental journeys. So main features, no words, big climaxes, focus on textures. So no words, it's kind of debatable now, in my opinion, because there's a lot of really good post-rock bands out there that do have vocals. Holy Fawn is one of them. Then you got bands like Moving Mountains, Oh Brother. You still can have vocals, I feel, with post-rock. They're just not going to be as upfront, but there are bands that are incorporating vocals into their post-rock sound, and the bands that do it so well. The balance is just there. So, but the big thing that we want to take away from post-rock and the definition is the big climaxes and the long instrumental journey. So songs often start off very quiet and slow. They slowly add layers of sound over time. This builds up to a very loud emotional peak. Holy Fawn are kings of doing this. Every song has this slow build up, and like the journey is so worth it, and especially focus on texture. So guitars are used to create rolling walls of sound and special effects, not just catchy riffs. So Holy Fawn, again, masters of their craft for this. They use so many cool texture pedals, but the big takeaway from post-rock is going to be focusing on big moods, textures, and long instrumental journeys. That is post-rock. One of the other terms that I have been using a lot lately is shoegaze. So shoegaze, the definition of shoegaze. Shoegaze is a style of alternative rock that started in the late 1980s in the United Kingdom. It features a loud wall of sound made from heavy guitar distortion, reverb, and fuzz combined with quiet, dreamy vocals that blend right into the instruments. Everyone's heard some like shoegazy songs. If you're on TikTok, some of the Deftones songs that are trending use heavy shoegaze elements. Title Fight uses shoegaze elements, especially in Hyperview. When you look at songs like Murder Your Memory and Chlorine, those are all very heavily shoegaze focused. So key sound and style, massive guitar effects. Players use mini foot pedals for echo, delay, and fuzz. Hidden vocals, singers whisper or sing softly, treating the voice like another layer of sound. And then focus on texture. The music values hazy emotional atmosphere over clear pop structure. So this is shoegaze. So when we look at shoegaze versus post-rock, shoegaze and post-rock are both guitar-driven genres from the late 20th century that prioritize texture and atmosphere over traditional rock riffs. Shoegaze builds an immediate dense wall of sound with heavy distortion and buried dreamy vocals. Post-rock uses rock instruments to craft long, slow building and mostly instrumental cinematic journeys. So this is the big takeaway from it. So post-rock is going to have shoegaze in it. Like, it's just going to have it. But shoegaze, it might have post-rock elements, but shoegaze is just more about that wall of sound, and post-rock is going to be about the journey to get there. And the journey is going to have that wall of sound in there. That's the big climax. But that's the big takeaway from these two genres. And I feel like there's a lot of confusion lately. Like I'll hear like somebody will promote their stuff on TikTok and be like, we're a shoegaze band from whatever, check out our stuff. So I'll go and check it out. And I was like, you have shoegaze in there, but as a whole, it's post-rock. Because they slowly build up, and you have this really cool sound, like shoegaze part of the song, like, but as a whole, you're writing post-rock. We need to bring more attention to post-rock, because I feel like shoegaze and post-rock people are calling post-rock shoegaze, and just for clarification. So another thing, let's see, shoegaze themes, looping and delay. I'll let you guys read this for a second, but it's pretty much just adding on. Shoegaze is a lot of fun to play. That's why I say I like to play post-rock and shoegaze, because you get both of the same elements. I just like the journey, man. Creating that journey and using, this will be a definition that I use a lot, soundscaping. So in music, a soundscape is the overall audio environment or sonic landscape of a piece. So down here it says, think of it as a painting, a physical or emotional place using audio instead of paint. So soundscaping is going to be like that twinkly, like that build up. So shoegaze has it too. Shoegaze will create soundscapes, but post-rock is more prevalent because the whole song is creating this soundscape. Like if you look at This Will Destroy You or Caspian, those are two really good post-rock bands that don't use vocals. They create these insane soundscapes. Caspian is going to be more of like your guitarist and drummers and bass using their instruments for soundscaping, whereas This Will Destroy You is going to use sounds from all over the place. Very, very good bands, but today is not about them. Today is about Holy Fawn. So let's get to farming and talking. So Holy Fawn, they need to be on your radar. Even if you're into like the alt music scene, Holy Fawn should be on your playlist. Absolutely. Like without a doubt, Holy Fawn is that good. They should be hitting your radar. So they have been going at it for a while. Their first album came out in 2015. And the 2015 album called Realms was just like, it's insane. Like if you like post-rock, soundscaping, shoegazy, like this album's gonna hit everything for you. As a matter of fact, their first two albums, it almost feels like they're just extensions of each other. So they only have 3 albums in their discography, so it's gonna be a very short one to talk about, but that doesn't make them any less impressive. To me, it feels like they're just getting started, even though that they started 10 years ago. But so Realms, I would highly recommend it. These are 3 songs that I would recommend off of Realms, and it's a very short album. So if you can, I would say just listen to it from start to finish. All 3 of their albums, because they are like a post-rock band. I'm not going to say shoegaze, even though that post-rock and shoegaze. But if you're wanting to get into post-rock and enjoy like shoegazy elements, you're going to love the first 2 albums. They just go hand in hand. And again, these are 3 songs I would recommend off of Realms. All right, come on, you cheeky bastard. What do we got? We got nothing. So check out the first album. Listen to it all the way through. It's... how many songs is it? It's literally 6 songs. It's 6 songs, and the playtime of the album is 34 minutes. So these are 3 songs that I would recommend off of it. So it's basically half the album. So I would kind of just recommend going and listening to it all the way through. It's crazy to see how they've kept their same sound throughout the years, but they keep refining it. And minus the last album, in my opinion, would be their strongest release. And it kind of takes a turn. So if you like Realms, then you're gonna love Death Spells. Because they're, like I said, it feels like they're an extension of each other. Death Spells may be a little bit more refined, and it's a full album. It's a full hour-long album, so these are 3 songs that I'd recommend off of those. And in all honesty, their albums, I feel like, are meant to be listened to from start to finish. These just happen to be songs that I think stand out the most. And you'll notice a lot of these soundscaping post-rock shoegaze elements, and now that we know the definition, I feel like that's such an asshole thing to do at the start, but now that we know definitions, you can listen to them and be like, okay, so this is what they mean by this is a post-rock element, this is the shoegaziness coming in. So these are just 2 albums to kind of get you acclimated to not just the Holy Fawn, but to that genre in general. Nice. All right, let's see if we got anything. Alright, we got nothing. We're out of here. But so yeah, so after... we're pretty much done with their discography, man. Because after Death Spells, their latest release, which is probably my favorite album from them, and they expand... This is the one that I feel has the most to talk about because of how their sound kind of changed. And didn't change in a bad way. They added another element to it. So their latest release Their latest release called Dimensional Bleed is absolutely freaking crazy. So now on top of their post-rock, shoegaze, their soundscaping, they added post-hardcore to it. And so in their first two albums, you're going to hear the vocals. They're tuned quite low, which plays into that shoegazy element with the low vocals and everything. The way that they blend, the way that they fuse like all the elements of their guitar work and everything is just absolutely incredible. They're on my bucket list to go see, and until I see them live, they won't be in my top 5. But after I see them live and see how they sound, they could easily go top 5. But Dimensional Bleed adds a post-hardcore element to their already post-rock and shoegaze and their soundscaping, and they do it so well. Like, you have his, like, I love his voice, his like angelic voice, and then at the climax, all of a sudden he'll just rip some screams into your face. Like, it is actually crazy. Didn't get any health back from that. But yeah, it'll be so quiet, and then like you'll hit the peak of like the song, like especially in their last albums, they would have like the peak of the song where it gets like super emotional and everything. And so with Dimensional Bleed, they took that and they put the post-hardcore element on top of it. So at the peak of like the emotional peak of the song, I don't know, to me it feels like it kind of fits, because instead of like in their last two albums where it was being sang and like this is like so emotional, whatever, and like I'm sad, like with Dimensional Bleed, it comes off as like now I'm pissed off. And it's so cool to see that element added in. And they have released a single since then, and they're keeping the same style. So maybe they're gonna go 2 albums like Realms, and then maybe 2 more albums like that's like Dimensional Bleed. And I'm here for it, man, because Dimensional Bleed I think is their best album, and I get not everyone's gonna like the screamy stuff. So I would say, you know, you got Realms and Death Spells out there. So if you don't like the screamy stuff, check out that. If you're intrigued, I would highly recommend Dimensional Bleed. It's an insane album. These are 3 songs I would recommend off of Dimensional Bleed. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. There's not a lot much more to say than you should definitely check them out. If you like alternative music and you're in that scene, I would say check them out. Like, because you're going to love them. It's going to be super hard to, when I'm making videos this week on TikTok, to see if they have license or if they have any, if I'm able to just use the song straight from TikTok, or if I'm going to have to use it through my editing program, because they're very underground, but they're not very underground, but they're not very well known, and they're a band that should be well known, especially with all this, like, I hate to say it, but all this cookie cutter, like, shoegaze bullshit that's going around. Like, it's just like these bands have become such a dime a dozen, and it's all the new bands too, but they sound alike. Like, they pick the formula, they know what's gonna get views or whatever. And I like Holy Fawn because they're sticking true to like that post-hardcore, post-rock, shoegazy nature, but they're doing it so different and so well, where it seems like this is a band where I anticipate their next release. Like, I'm waiting because they put out a single and I'm like, okay, so when's the next one come out? When's the next one come out? When are they touring? But they just do everything so well and so different that it's really putting these other bands that are just like getting all the streams and views and stuff on social media, and whereas this band I feel like really deserves it because they're doing something different, and they've been doing something different for the past 10 years. So if we can boost up Holy Fawn and try and get them the love and attention that they deserve, that would be incredible. Cool. Got nothing. Alright, we'll do one more for the road, and that's about it. I am going to edit this down for YouTube because I don't have to edit a meme video today, because that's gonna be... I tried, man. Tried for like an hour. I tried for an hour. What can I do? What can I do? But I will edit this down for YouTube, and then tomorrow the TLDR will come out, and it'll be more concise. I'll make better notes. I'm still gonna clip the... I'll try and clip the what is post-rock compared to shoegaze and soundscaping and stuff, because those are going to be terms that I'm going to be using a lot. That's the kind of music that I like to listen to. It's the kind of music that I like to write. So I just want to bring some awareness to that there is a difference. Like, not everything shoegaze. I think shoegaze is just such a trending word that everyone will be like, yeah, we're this new shoegaze band. It's like, okay, there actually is like terminology, and I'm not one to like harp on terminology, but we need to get the difference out there. Full health and shield, by the way. But we do need to make sure that we're classifying these as what they are, and maybe it's just because I love post-rock that I want to bring attention to it and get more people into it. That's probably the majority of it. Can't be kidding me. Dude, your bubble's pissing me off. I'm gonna eat your fucking baby. Dude, I can't go into it when fight for your life. Get the fuck over here. Yeah, you're a bitch. Asshole. I don't see anything. But yeah, I think it's just... I think I want to get the definitions out there just because... I want to bring more hype to post-rock. I feel like everyone's focusing on shoegaze, and we're missing out on like this really cool genre of music that we've probably all been listening to for a while. Like there's like some Circa songs. Circa Survive has post-rock elements in there. I wouldn't call them a post-rock band, but they have post-rock elements. Like if you look at like things like Dissensus, their song Dissensus, you go through like a journey. It's like it's a post-rock song with like shoegaze and like just drony like vocals. But yeah, that's just kind of I didn't want to be a dick about like the definitions. I just want to bring more awareness to what post-rock is, because it's a genre of music that I really like and I think it's overlooked. But yeah, so Holy Fawn's great. More post-rock bands, Moving Mountains, Oh Brother, This Will Destroy You, Of the Vine, Appleseed Cat. Man, I've got like a full playlist. I might make a post-rock playlist and post it, so if you guys want, it'll be on Apple Music, but I'll try and post that. But yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. The TLDR should be out. I love you sons of bitches. Have a good night.